Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our little tutorial for our lesson 2.04 worksheet on atomic and mass numbers. What I have open for you today is the PDF worksheet here on the right and also our periodic table here on the left. I would suggest for our unit 2 to either print off this periodic table of elements or to save it somewhere handy on your computer. I have mine saved on my desktop, so I'm able to open up and I can split my screen this way so I'm able to see the periodic table and I'm also able to work on my worksheet. So for today's purposes, I'm going to need both of these documents and I'm going to use my fill and sign tool in Adobe Reader to get my worksheet started. So I'll go ahead and put my name on my worksheet and I will start my worksheet by reading our directions. So it says to complete the following chart and answer the questions below. Using the periodic table will be very useful. So I mentioned this purposefully to remind you that you need the periodic table in order to find this information. So let's begin with our first example, and that's carbon. So carbon is on our periodic table, and if we start from the top and start to scan across, we're looking for carbon, and I see it here, element number 6, with the symbol of C. So I have found my carbon element, and its box on the periodic table is going to tell me all about its atom structure. So we learned today in class that the atomic number of an atom is found at the top of its box. So I see that it's element number 6. I can simply put my cursor here and add the number 6. Next, when I'm looking for the number of protons, I have to think about what number on the periodic table can tell me that information. If you remember from our notes or our class discussions, the atomic number tells me how many protons each atom of that element has. So because carbon is element number 6, it means there are 6 protons in that atom. So I can put the same number. Atomic number and the number of protons are the same. The atomic number is simply just a count of the number of protons in each atom. Now, finding the number of neutrons can be a little trickier. Neutrons aren't listed directly on our periodic table like the number of protons are, so we need to use some brain power and some of our basic math skills to find what the number of neutrons is in each atom of carbon. So I think about it this way. I'll put a little cheat sheet for you up here that the number of neutrons is equal to the atomic mass minus protons. And that's true because the atomic mass that we're seeing, this mass number, is simply a count of all the particles in the nucleus. That would include the protons and the neutrons. So in order to find the number of neutrons, we need to look at our total mass, 12, which we can also find here by rounding the mass, 12. And we can subtract the number of protons from our total mass in order to find the number of neutrons. So another way to say this would be that atomic mass is equal to protons plus neutrons. And I'll move that over so we can see that today too. So I hope that these are both helpful pieces of information, that reminders of what we had gone over in class today. So if I'm able to see that our atomic mass is 12, and I know there are 6 protons, in order to get from 6 to 12, there must be 6 neutrons. So I simply fill in the table. So what I'm going to do is to use my periodic table today and find out which element has these atom properties that are listed. For example, you might get to the second problem and say, Mrs. Thomas, I don't know what element this is. It's blank. Well, you get to be the science investigator and try to figure out which element has the atomic number of 8. So if I go look at my periodic table, it's organized across in rows, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that is oxygen. So what I need to do is fill in this information in every box and use my periodic table detective skills to figure out the atom properties for each one of these elements. Okay, again, just to review, when you look at your periodic table, the number on the top is your atomic number, or the number of protons in your atom. The number on the bottom is your atomic mass, also known as mass number, which tells you the total mass or the total count of particles in your nucleus. As a reminder, sometimes these mass numbers or atomic mass numbers on the bottom aren't whole, and we just need to round to the nearest whole number. For example, the nearest whole number for the mass of helium would be 4. If we were looking at element number 9, fluorine, we see that its mass is 18.99. Our nearest mass would be 19. So simply round those mass numbers to the nearest whole to help you figure out the number of neutrons and the number of protons for each atomic element. I hope this was a helpful video for you today. Please feel free to email or to call me if you'd like any other clarification. In addition, my office hours are available on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 4 o'clock. I hope to see you there. Thank you and have a great day.